At the edge of our observable universe, there is something that should not be there. Not a star, not a galaxy, something older than almost everything we can see. Something so massive that when astronomers first calculated its size, they assumed they had made an error. They hadn't. It is a black hole, but calling it a black hole is like calling the ocean a puddle. The scale difference between what we think of when we hear those words and what this thing actually is cannot be described in any unit that means anything to a human mind. Its name is Tan 618, and the deeper you go into what it is, the more the universe starts to feel like it's hiding something from us. Start here, our sun. The sun is 1.4 million kilometers across. If you drove a car at highway speed without stopping, it would take you 177 years to cross it. It contains 99.8% of all the mass in our solar system. Every planet, every moon, every asteroid, every comet, all of it combined is less than a quarter of a percent of what the sun weighs. The sun is incomprehensibly large. Tan 618 has a mass 66 billion times greater than our sun. Not 66 million, 66 billion. If our sun were a grain of sand, Tan 618 would be a boulder the size of a house. The event horizon, the point of no return, the boundary beyond which nothing escapes, stretches across 1300 astronomical units. Each unit is 150 million kilometers, the distance from Earth to Sun. Tan 618's event horizon spans 1300 of those. The entire solar system, including the Oort cloud, fits inside the event horizon of Tan 618 with room to spare. If you were to drop our solar system into it, it would vanish completely without making a measurable difference to Tan 618's size. This is the thing that should not exist. It sits 10.4 billion light years away. To understand what the distance means, light left Tan 618 before our sun existed, before Earth existed, before the solar system had formed. The light arriving at our telescopes today began its journey when the universe was less than a third of its current age. We are witnessing Tan 618's past. We are seeing it as it was 10.4 billion years ago. What it has become since then, we have no way of knowing. The information hasn't reached us yet. It won't reach us for billions of years. We are looking at a ghost, a snapshot of something ancient, frozen in the light that left it before our world existed. At present, it might have gotten even bigger. Something could have formed that's even bigger than it. It is the most massive object ever recorded in the history of astronomy till now. Tan 618 is not just a black hole. It is the engine at the center of something called a quasar, a supermassive black hole that is actively feeding. When it is pulling in so much material, gas, dust, entire stars, that the matter spiraling into it heats to temperature beyond comprehension. The friction, the compression, the violence of that infall generates more energy than the entire Milky Way's 400 billion stars combined. Tan 618 is one of the most luminous quasars ever discovered. It outshines its host galaxy so completely that the galaxy itself is almost invincible behind the glare. A single object, a single point of gravitational collapse, producing more light than an entire galaxy. And yet, from Earth, even with all of the energy pouring outward in every direction across 10.4 billion light years of space, Tan 618 is invincible to the naked eye. The universe is so large that the brightest thing we have ever found cannot be seen without a telescope. This isn't just merely terrifying, it's stranger than that. It should not exist. Not as a matter of opinion, as a matter of physics. Black holes grow by consuming matter. They pull in gas and dust and stars and they grow slowly over millions and billions of years. The rate at which a black hole can feed is limited. There is a physical ceiling, the Eddington limit, beyond which the radiation pressure from the infalling material pushes new material away, slowing consumption. By that limit, by the known physics of how black holes grow, TON 618 should have needed longer than the universe has existed to reach its current size. The universe is 13.8 billion years old. TON 618 reached 66 billion solar masses within 3 billion years of that timeline. We can see it at 10.4 billion light years. It had already achieved this size before the universe was half its current age. It grew faster than our models say anything can grow, and we do not know how. Scientists have been trying to answer this for decades. The leading idea, the direct collapse. In the very early universe, before the first stars had even formed, vast clouds of primordial hydrogen may have been able to skip the star formation stage entirely. No stellar birth, no supernova death, just a cloud of gas collapsing directly into a black hole, already millions of times the mass of the sun. A seed massive enough from the very beginning to grow into something like TON 618 within the available time. But we have never witnessed this happening, even though the mathematics allow it. The evidence has not yet been confirmed. So, some physicists went further. They suggested that the Eddington limit can be broken. Under certain conditions, a black hole enters a state where it consumes faster than the physics should permit, briefly, violently, repeatedly over millions of years. If that is true, our models of black hole growth have a gap in them large enough for TON 618 to have slipped through undetected by every equation we have written. And if neither of those explanations is sufficient, then the last probability is the one that nobody says loudly. That the early universe was not the same universe we live in now. That in its first 3 billion years, it operated under conditions different enough from today that the rules we have derived from observing the present simply did not apply it. That TON 618 is not an exception to the rules. It is evidence that we do not yet know all of them. Imagine you are in a spacecraft, stationary, somewhere in the vast darkness between galaxies. TON 618 is ahead of you. You cannot see it at this distance. It is just a point of light, bright, absurdly bright, but a point, like a star, like something manageable. You move closer. The point grows. It stops looking like a star and starts looking like a disk. The disk brightens. The surrounding space begins to distort. Light from galaxies behind TON 618 is bending around it, smearing into arcs, doubling back on itself. You are still millions of light years away. Closer. The accretion disk fills your view, material spiraling inward at a fraction of the speed of light. Temperature in the innermost ring reaching billions of years. The radiation pouring outward would end any biological life form in seconds, and still the event horizon itself remains ahead. A sphere of absolute darkness, 1300 astronomical units across, the boundary where spacetime folds inward and nothing, not matter, not light, not information, returns. You stop here because beyond that boundary, physics as we understand it ends. What happens inside TON 618? Inside a black hole 66 billion times the mass of our sun? Nobody knows. Our equations fail. Our models produce answers that mean nothing. The singularity at the center is a place our entire framework of reality cannot describe. It is the largest question mark in the known universe, written in gravity, 10.4 billion light years away. Subscribe because the universe keeps producing things that should not be possible, and we are just getting started.